crunch. Good morning, everyone, and
You're
welcome.
having crunch this morning. That's pretty crunchy.
I mean, yeah, I am. I haven't looked at myself in the mirror until just now, and like, yeah, it's par for the course. I'm getting a shower today after the stream. Like, I'm not showered for this stream, but I'll be showered for the next stream.
Uh-huh.
That's how.
So everyone will see how your hair changes?
Yeah. Everyone take note. Everyone take note, and then you'll see how. Well, later I'll be wearing a headset, so it'll be a little different.
Yeah.
Morning. Welcome to Thursday. Yeah. I'm starting to get into mullet territory, but I'm okay with that because
I think it looks slicked back like a.
I keep the business in the front,
from...
and I put the party in the back. When I think of people with mullets, I think of that noise specifically. That's the one. I do have a bit of a crunch. My mom brought us these because we had been talking about them. They're cereal bars. This isn't the first one I've had. I had to have one already, but they're good. They're as good as I remember. They don't call them cereal bars anymore. They call them treats because treats is a word that implies they're candy. Whereas cereal bars, you know, implies that it's like a breakfast thing, and this is not a breakfast thing. It's a treat. It's a sweet treat. Oh, they're crumbly. If you've never seen these before, this was something that was popular in like late 90s? Sounds right. And it's cereal, but like glued together with some cinnamon milk paste, aka sugar. It's pretty crunchy. There's a bunch of these too, by the way. Like,
different cereals.
yeah, this is obviously the Cheerios one.
Yeah.
But there's a lot. Like they still make them in Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I think they make one in Lucky Charms. They make them in even really obscure stuff too. Like there's like Count Chocula cereal bars. Sorry, cereal treats. It's great. Anyway, I'm gonna eat this. It's gonna take me approximately like 30 seconds, and then I'll read some stuff. I hope everyone's Thursday is going all right so far, though. The weeks tend to go fast. I was hoping to do the first 20 stream yesterday, and that fell through. But we'll be doing it today. Fell through because my mom had a car issue, and my parents only have one car now, so I needed to go pick her up. Her brakes went out. Which is not ideal, but she was fine. She said she was on her way to work yesterday. She went to press the brakes down, and they didn't engage. There was no resistance. And she said she had pushed it all the way to the floor before the car started to stop. And I was like, I bet that was probably frightening. She was like, it was very frightening. I was like, but you're okay. So I got her yesterday. We took the car to a shop. We got the car fixed. Asterisk. The reason I say asterisk is that we took it to a it's a family friend, someone my parents have known for 20 years. like really, really good dude. Has always, you know, treated my parents, my family right. Reliable, trustworthy dude. He changed the master cylinder for the brake, but he did note, he's like, I changed this because it's messed up. He's like, something still doesn't seem right. He's like, but, you know, shrug, you have to drive it and see what happens. So they were like, okay. So Dad brought it home from the guy yesterday, and apparently it was okay. My mom drove it to work today, sent me a text and said, yeah, the brakes are still not working. I was like, okay. Alright. So she got to work alright. And I imagine that she's gonna, you know, be very careful coming home. Because it's doing the same thing where it's gotta be like pushed to the floor. So what is actually a problem? I don't know.
I had my cylinders go out in high school.
Mm-hmm.
It sucked.
Yeah.
On the way my car was set up, and I don't know if it was just my car or what exactly, because this was like over 10 years ago. I had to have like all the brakes and everything replaced.
Mm-hmm. Luna Boy asked if the brakes were at least working slightly differently. I don't know, because the only correspondence I've had with my mom today was like a single text message.
From work, so she got to work all right.
Yeah, so she got there, but in like the brakes must be at least working, just badly. You know, nothing I can do. Just all right. They've had I think the big thing that sucks is that they've had some issues with the car. This is their escape. They only have one. They only have the one car now, which is why I needed to go help them yesterday. But I think the bigger thing. I'm losing my train of thought.
I don't know.
What was I saying?
I don't remember. I wasn't paying attention.
I know you weren't paying attention.
Your dad texted
you
and
looked
said
at your
that
phone.
they're taking it back to
When you looked at your phone, you threw me off, and I
Sorry.
completely forgot what I was talking about.
It's fine. She made it.
Well,
to
it's not
work
fine. I remember what I was talking about now. They've just recently had problems with the car, like separate from the brakes. So that's the thing that sucks, is that they've had issues with the car over a period of time. They've had issues with the car really recently, separate from the brake issue, and then now they have issues with the brakes. And I'm like, okay. How old's that car? Is it a 2008? I want to say it's a 2008, but I'm not entirely sure.
I can't remember. It's newer than ours was.
Yeah, ours was a 2004.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, how did I get on this subject? Cereal treats. Cereal treats. Whether or not it's time for a new car, I don't know. I don't know. Like, that's been one of the nicest things. I mean, in 2020, when you don't use the car to go anywhere, one of the nicest things about having a new car, because, you know, we have a new car this year, is that you generally just trust that it will take you to location B. Before when we still had our escape, especially getting near the end, you know, there was a worry every time we got in the car. It's like, will the car get us to where we want to go? I don't know. Maybe
Will it
not.
start when we leave that place?
Yeah, that was another. Will the car begin its expedition? Who can say? So you know, that was one of the advantages of having a newer car. But I don't know what they'll do. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, I should read some stuff. I hope everyone's car is doing okay. Because having car issues is the worst. Like, if you live in a place... Thanks, Jazz. If you live in a place where, like...
You don't need a car?
You don't need a car.
Oh, that would be cool.
And, like, you live in the city, you take public transit, like, that's super cool. For most folks in the U.S., that ain't an option. Like, it's just not an option.
This year was the first year they started taking the bus up to North Myrtle Beach.
Really?
With our bus line. Yeah. Our bus line was mostly to get college kids from coastal Carolina to the beach. And then they started having it go around, like, Myrtle Beach proper for a while. But this year they were like, we're introducing a new line. It'll take you up into North Myrtle.
I mean, like, for what it's worth, I like driving. I like being in the car. I like taking the car places. On the times whenever we've been on trips and stuff where we've done primarily public transit, it's fine, but I miss being able to drive places.
Yeah.
That being said...
I mean, when we drove to PAX in 2018, we basically parked our car in a lot for...
Days.
And took transit, and it was nice.
Yeah. But I still like being able to drive.
Yeah.
It just sucks because if you have a car issue, it derails, I mean, your entire day, but sometimes multiple days, and it derails you financially.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants to go turn their car on and the car be like, I'm sick, and you need to insert $800. That's not ideal. Anyway, all right. I'm actually reading alerts now. 309 bits from Pickletron, starting us off with the Thomas Play. 11 months from Van the Tokamon, who says, hi. 5 months from Bourbon Dodongo. 22 months from Red Eye Storm. 2 months till a 2-year thing. Neat, I guess. Yeah, we make the numbers go up. Instead of a 1, you can have a 2. Math. 26 months from Satsy. So the past week or so, I've been making different things with chickpeas. Cinnamon Crunch snack was especially good. Chickpeas in my crunch! I forced that to fit. Although I broke a tooth on one, it's alright. The tooth was already broken. Anyway, I'm sorry about the tooth. Although, chickpeas are great. It's something that I've only recently started to appreciate. Like, I've never disliked chickpeas, but I started to do a few more meals with them, and they're good. Like, they're really hearty. They're, I guess they're all something that I don't think about personally, but I guess they're like a vegan substitute for, you know, meat. Like, you could do like, they're very hearty is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, you said that already.
Did I? Did I use that word exactly?
Yeah, you did.
Whew, must be a morning. Anyway, they're good. Yeah, and like Tenda says, they're good for you too. So, shout out to chickpeas. Miss Nintendo Chick says mushrooms can be too. Yeah, mushrooms are good as well. I like doing the Big Bella, like stuffed.
The caps.
Yeah, Big Bella caps with
artichoke hearts and spinach and cheese.
Yeah, I grew up eating a lot of different, like, vegetarian style food just because of mom. 8 months from 63 Phils. 500 bits from Aldo, who says, "Is this where we send our startup cash for the Outback Stab House?" With no context, that does sound like a wild statement. I can't even begin to get into that, but there was a new episode of Disc Only. We did a new episode on Tuesday, so if you haven't heard it, it's a trip. It's a like, I can't prepare you for it. But I hope that you get a laugh. I hope that you get a laugh. I'll just say that. I hope it makes you smile. It's a little dark, but a fun dark comedy. I don't get to do as much dark comedy. I shove it all onto John's channel to the point where he's like, am I gonna lose my channel? And I'm like, I don't know. It's not my channel. 9 months from Crystallized Fish. Yay, Twitch baby. Since taking this full-time job at an audiology office, I've been working non-stop and at full blast, taking a sick day for myself because I'm starting to feel burnt out. Mental health is important, thanks to the daily relaxing content. Agreed. Mental health is extremely important. Take care of yourself. If you need to take a sick day, take a sick day. And that goes for all of you. Sometimes you just need a day to decompress.
That was my Tuesday.
Well, yeah, I was going to say that was your Monday and your Tuesday. Monday was a different problem.
Monday was different.
Tuesday was decompressing. Yeah, decompressing is important. It's really important that you take time for yourself. And you'll thank yourself in the long run for doing so. 14 months from our Oaks. 14 months, so I'm loving Pikmin 3 Deluxe, and one of my favorite moments is when Mal did the pointer and said, do not like, do not like, do not like. Still haven't figured out why it was broken.
Emil told me with the Joy-Cons you can reset something by hitting like R1 or something.
People were telling me you press like R3.
Maybe that was it. He told me. I have to go check.
And I was trying to do that on the Pro Controller.
Yeah, but I don't know if you can do it on the Pro Controller. Maybe it's just a Joy-Con? I don't know. I have no idea.
Maybe we were hitting the wrong button. Maybe it's not. Intelligent One says R1. I thought it was clicking the right stick. Pro Controller R1. Maybe we were hitting the wrong button. Well, Mal must have been hitting the wrong button because Steven told you to hit it. Sounds correct. Anyway. The one that we have it set up on is fine.
I can deal with it. I can't deal with switching. So as soon as we switched it from the GameCube style to the motion control, I was not happy for a little bit, but I got used to it, but I don't think I can keep switching.
You have to pick one and stay.
Yeah.
The current gyro settings are minimal. But also, like, there's not a camera. There's not like a face cam for the Pikmin 3, so people don't get to see what we're doing when we're playing. Mao is very exaggerated in her movements. Like someone playing Cruisin' USA for the first time. You are. You tend to, like, there's a lot of overcompensation when you're doing gyro stuff. In a way that's not present when you're doing like the Wii. Maybe it's because you can, like,
see the pointer.
And you're more used to it? I don't know.
I don't know.
But that might also be one of the reasons why the other mode didn't work for you.
Maybe.
Because it was like... You do the same thing in...
But in the other mode, it was like as far as it could go, and moving the Joy-Con at all, or the Pro Controller at all wasn't moving it. It was just like, woo!
You do the same thing in Zelda, actually.
Yeah.
And people could probably back me up on that. Where in Zelda, when you're doing the weapon aiming, like, the sticks still aim. It's just you can finesse it with gyro. And a lot of times I've noticed whenever you do the aiming...
It's one or the other.
Like, you will use gyro for the entirety of the aiming.
It's one or the other.
Which is really hard if it's if the angle of difference is, like, you know, 90 degrees. Instead of using the sticks to get you most of the way, you'll just do the entire controller.
It's one or the other.
Whatever works, works. Until it doesn't. But for the most part, it works. We get 24 months. 2 years! From Jolly Roger Gay, who says, can't believe I've been subscribed for 24 hours. Days are years. Months are hours. That's confusing. 3-in-1 bits from Summer Mink, 91, with the Proton Sup. Star Rain. 22 months from Vegetable Sorbet. 22 months, how time flies. Oh, that doesn't say that. That says, how flime ties. Yes, it does. It does tie. 4 months from CD Chow. Good morning. First time catching this live. Well, welcome. I hope I hope that you've got your beverage of choice. Whatever that may be. A hot drink. A lot of people do the hot drink. Maybe you got like, maybe just have some water. Orange juice? Haven't had that in a long time. I'm not a big orange juice person.
I know you're not.
But I get cravings, like every once in a while. Yeah, you might be a part of Morning Coke crowd. Morning Coke.
I do like morning Coke.
Which means something completely different in Miami. 300 bits from DC Racer 329. Can I get some good luck and good vibes from chat because I have an engineering management final in 2 hours? Y'all help me get a 97 on both my midterms. Okay, well, first off, good vibes and good luck, but we didn't help you get a 97. It was inside of you all along. The engineering knowledge was always there. We just helped you believe in you. Yeah. They'll come back with a 96 and they'll be like, no, I think it was a good... My score went down. 25 months from PK Magical. Is cereal soup?
No.
No.
Even with cold soup, you have to, like, make it a thing.
No.
And then serve it. But cereal, you, like, put them together.
Oh my god. Well then, okay. By your definition. By your definition. I won't be on this long because this can be a whole thing. By your definition, you make a soup.
Mm-hmm.
And then you say, oh, I want some croutons in my soup. I want some...
Those are a topping. That doesn't make
well.
soup.
No. Follow me here. Cereal. The milk is the soup.
No, it's milk.
The cereal is the topping.
Now, if you take milk and, like, add stuff to it, like more sugar and honey and vanilla or something, then you might have some sort of
Wait, so
thing.
you said milk...
You can't just have one ingredient be a soup.
Tomato soup.
You still add broth and onions and seasoning.
Just tomatoes.
Even, like, gazpacho is
ground
still
up.
multiple ingredients. That's tomato sauce, then. That's not a soup.
That's fine. 100 bits from Sensei Peter. Thank you, Sensei. 500 bits from Flamewise Song. Figures that the only time I'm here for Breakfast Stream Live is when I pull an all-nighter. At least I was up to register for my classes next quarter at the start of the stream. I hope you got the classes you wanted. We actually were just talking about registering for classes on Tuesday, I think. Pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it brings back I think some good memories, but largely anxiety. Largely, oh god. But a few good memories. Like whenever you actually like had the 3 classes you were going to take and you got them all and you're like, yeah! That was a good feeling. Anyway, 10 months from Vest Digital Media. I had a Twitch baby last month and didn't notice. I'm an awful Twitch parent.
Come here, buddy.
It's okay. The babies go into stasis, fortunately. They're little stasis babies.
Mm-hmm. And you can choose from...
Like Gordon Freeman.
Kittens or other baby animals. Come
and then
here,
when you come back to the stream, they thaw out.
Come here. Don't you want Snuggles?
Don't you want...
Come on.
To smell my cereal treat?
Come on.
Bar?
You can't just stand there. Come here.
I mean, he can. I would prefer if he didn't, but he can do that. He has went to his helper chair.
Come on.
And he sits.
Okay.
Satsy says, please don't cryogenically freeze your pets. Only the digital ones. Only the ones on Twitch or your Tamagotchis. We got a sub from NBank72. Welcome. 300 bits from Adrian. Who says, I managed something fun last night. I got all the rare drop mounts for a section of Final Fantasy XIV. They're all horses. Can't stop thinking about them horses. Horses, mommy. Horses. Well, congrats. I don't know enough about Final Fantasy XIV to know like the level of time or difficulty to achieve that. But I'm excited about horses. I get to at least have that. I'm like, oh well.
Did you ever get to go on a horseback ride?
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
If you ask me like, have you been on a horse? The answer is yeah. If you ask me when or in what context, I could not tell you.
Okay.
I just know I've been on a horse.
Okay.
I've also been on a horse at the mall. You know the mall where Player's Choice is? They had a horse in there one time.
And you got to ride it?
Well, you didn't ride it. You sat on it. They were doing photos. But in the mall, you know, thinking back on it, it's kind of weird to bring like a live horse. Like you get like a mall Santa, but you don't usually have like a mall horse. That's strange.
I know some places do a live nativity.
In the mall?
I
bet that does not smell great.
I don't know. I just know that some places do. I've never been.
When you say live nativity, you just mean the animals, right?
Yeah, like
you
a petting zoo, but they
yeah.
bring them into places.
So it's like, you can't like put a baby in a mall, can you?
I've seen ads for them down here, like, ooh, it's December, live nativity.
Yeah, but not in the mall.
I don't know, maybe. Maybe
not
they
in the
put
mall.
it in the mall.
Not in the mall. That would be like a thing you go to, I think. Anyway, when I've got photos. Have you ever seen the photo of me? And I'm like 4 or 5, and
No.
I'm dressed up as a little cowboy.
But you've never been like on a horseback ride?
No, I've done that too.
Okay.
But I don't remember when.
Okay.
I don't remember when. So another thing, when I was growing up, I had classmates who, their family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I know you mean.
Jesus. And like for a birthday party, sometimes we would go to their
House.
ranch,
Yeah.
whatever it was, and like ride on the horse. It wasn't like riding the horse insinuates like it wasn't that. It was like sit on the horse and someone leads the horse around. But
Okay.
horses are dangerous.
So you've never like had the reins and like.
Have I ever been in charge of a horse?
Yeah.
Lord, no.
Okay.
You have to know what you're doing to be in charge of a horse. I ain't never been in charge of a horse.
Okay.
What a wild question. Have you been in charge of a horse?
3 times.
Get out.
Yeah.
You have to train with a horse. You can't just get on a horse. Are you serious?
Yeah.
When?
So, there used to be a place by my aunt who lived in the schoolhouse, by her house.
Mm-hmm.
And one time, I think my dad was out of town for work after the divorce, and she took Carly and I for the weekend, and we hung out with her, and we went and we rode horses. And that was probably the best time, because they let us do, not like a full gallop, but like a little faster than just a walk.
Okay.
Through some parts, so we got to do that. And they'd say this is your horse, and they'd help you up on the horse and teach you a little bit about like holding the reins. And then they led on their horse, and our horses just kind of followed behind theirs. And then my mom's best friend growing up was, one of those horse people who like has a horse and loves her horse and did
horse person.
And did show jumping and everything.
Horse person. One
and
word.
we went to visit her once, and she let us ride on her horse. And then another time we went to Colorado, and we stayed at a Girl Scout camp that was like not doing camp sessions, and you could just go rent a cabin. And they had a horseback trail, and then you could go ride a horse and go on the trail with a guide. And our guide was from South Africa, but he sounded like he was from Australia. So he said he was from Australia, lived in South Africa, and then moved to Colorado.
This is the biggest lore dump I've ever had in my life. This is like the last remaining information I didn't know about Mallory. How long have we been together? Like, going almost 13 years?
You can rent horses here and take them out on, what's the beach where there's no people? On the state line.
Personless beach.
You know where I mean, though. And you take...
Right into North Carolina?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Jesus, that was a lot of info. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be... The part I'm gonna retain, I'm just warning you.
Is that I rode a horse once?
Is that you
Yeah.
you actually rode a horse.
Once for Girl Scouts, we went to a local farm, and we didn't get to ride horses, I don't think, but they showed us, like, how to clean them, and, like, they cleaned their hooves afterwards and brushed them and stuff.
I mean, I'm not opposed to riding a horse. Like, I would do it.
Uh-huh.
But it's not something I sit around thinking about. Now, do I think about them horses? You know it. Do I think about riding them horses? No. That's as dangerous. It requires, like, getting to know a horse. You should know what you're riding. It's a general rule. What were we talking about?
Horses.
Anyway,
Horses.
cereal bars. 25 months from Countermaster says, hello. 500 bits from Mr. Gameboy says, the worst car story I have is that I was driving back to the place I was staying for my internship when the timing chain in my car decided to break free and tear apart parts of the engine. Thankfully, the car crapped out rather than catch fire or something. The car had to then be pulled to the closest gas station and left there. That's
We had the timing
rough.
belt break on the Kia, my Kia, but it had been parked.
Yeah,
We
which
weren't
is
driving.
a preferable place. There's another one from Mr. Gameboy 500 says, part 2, since it was cut off, if I then started looking for a new car, if you want, I shared the picture of my engine in the Discord. Okay, I'll take a look at that after the stream. Yeah. Cars are terrible.
My dad.
I mean, I guess also horses, like, the problem with horses is that I was thinking, man, remember back when everything was fine because we had horses? First off, no, they're slower than cars. Also, they're organic creatures. They also, like, get sick.
And have to eat, and...
Yeah, God, can you imagine if you had to feed your car?
You do, gas.
It's not quite the same. It's not quite the same.
My dad, who works on cars and really likes cars, is still like, oh, I hate cars.
I mean, we talk about it all the time, where it's like, yeah, like everyone here, say everyone, a large majority of the people that watch the show, myself included, we like tech, we like computers, but you know what's awful? Computers. Terrible. They're awful. They break. They do things that are just unusual. They're awful pieces of technology. But, you know, it's still true. Oh, Lord. Oh,
It's written for you.
It's written. Let me tell you all about my dear old nephew Tom. His humor in his Let's Plays and streams are quite the bomb. As a reminder, his favorite Pokemon's Quagsire. And I don't think this song was one of his desires. One of his desires. That was from Pickletron. Literally from Pickletron. Pickletron wrote the lyrics. That's really great for me. Sing these lyrics is very helpful. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, I can do that. Also, you had the syllables perfect. Pickletron, thank you. Shout out to Tom.
Hi, baby.
Wherever Tom is.
Oh, he's a good kitty.
Probably in Texas, since that's where Tom lives. I just talked to Tom. On Tuesday when we did the show.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing well. Did he join you or did you take him?
I took him.
That's okay. 750 bits from Minneapolis, who says, greetings from Minneapolis, Minnesota. I actually woke up early enough to catch breakfast stream for once. College plus COVID is rough for my sleep schedule. I shall join y'all with a cup of hot chocolate today. I had a cup of hot chocolate on Saturday.
I like Minneapolis.
I haven't spent a lot of time there.
You've been there once for a few days. Twice. No, you didn't go that one time with me.
Once.
Yeah, you've been there once, and then you flew into the airport once, and I picked you up that night, and then we went back to Stout.
Yeah, I went to Mall of America, and I walked around, and I was like, this big. And then we left.
Yeah.
Which I guess, to some extent, is everyone's experience at Mall of America. Unless someone is like, they're going to send in a message like, actually, I went to Mall of America, and I didn't leave. They haven't found me. I'm in the Foot Locker on the 3rd floor. They'll never find me.
Side.
I'm never leaving the Mall of America. You know, that could be fun. 22 months from Armored Frog. It says 22 months. Happy PS5 release date. That's right. We just was it earlier this week or was it last week that the Xbox Series X came out? Recently, very recently, and then today, or well, if you really wanted one, 9 hours ago, like as it's swapped over to midnight, PS5 release. 2 new consoles. GamerTalk says Xbox came out Tuesday? Oh my god. So 2 days apart. 2 days apart. Wild.
Sapphire Becca, the terminal, but it's Steven in the Mall of America.
I would be willing to do that. Purple Poyer says, isn't Microsoft already telling people not to blow vape into their Xboxes? Yes. If you're not familiar with that, Xbox just came out, and there's been videos circulating online of, like, smoke pouring out the top of the Xbox. The Xbox Series X, it looks like a little refrigerator, but all the ventilation is on the top, so it pulls air in from the bottom and pushes it out the top. And there started to be these videos that circulate that show all the smoke pouring out, and people are like, oh my god, the thing is just like overheating and like it's smoking or whatever. Turns out people were blowing vape smoke into the intake of the Xbox to make it look like that. And Xbox had to like post something on their Twitter feed that was like, we can't believe we have to say this. Please do not blow your vape into your Xbox. And I'm like,
I don't know anything about vaping, but isn't it like supposed to be water vapor? Like, wouldn't the moisture damage the parts?
I mean, you know, my first thought would be to not do the thing, but
okay.
I just, you know, the other thing is like, as a general rule, if I've spent $500 on a thing, $500 on a thing that is like new and hard to get, that if it breaks, it's gonna be hard to get another one. My first thought would not be to do anything to it that is outside of the scope of normal operation. It's just not how I. But I'm not most people, apparently. Or some people. Because some people got their Xbox and they're like, you know what would be really nice about this? If it just poured the vape out of the top. Vape into the A6400. Vape into the camera. Anyway. To be fair, it has almost no games because it's new. What else are you going to do with it? It's true. It's true. Someone out there is in line to get an Xbox right now because they're like, well, online I saw this really cool way to blow the vape smoke. Dude, the first thing I'm doing with my PS5 is getting it drunk. Drink up. Also, don't do that. It's not old enough to drink. Instead, give the alcohol to your PS1. PS1's old enough to drink. 1,500 bits from LB308. No message. I appreciate it. Thank you, LB. We got 12 months from YoshiBro23. Good morning. Wishing good car vibes for everyone. I think that's truly the vibes that everyone needs this morning. Hope everyone's cars stay good. Probably not the best way of saying that, but you know what I mean. 26 months from Crunchy Face. Thank you. 245 bits from NBank72. Thank you. 1,050 bits from Zach Chillman, who says, so you remember that stabbing I quickly mentioned? Yeah, the guy got it in his left butt cheek after going out for some food. Seriously, just like Jared and you said on Disc Only. I'm not joking, by the way. Just a quick reminder. Zach had said something, I don't remember, I don't even know if it was Tuesday, it might have been like the week.
I think it was before.
Yeah, I think it was last week. It was a whole story that just very briefly mentioned stabbing and then moved on. And here's the follow-up. I guess if you were going to get stabbed, your butt cheek's probably a pretty good place to get stabbed. I should have brought that up to John on Tuesday. I bet he would have taken those hash browns. Anyway, 8 months from Lord Mathapon. 1 month till Twitch, baby. In all seriousness, y'all always make me feel better and are also my only concept of what day of the week it is. Love y'all. For what it's worth, the fact that we do this is also my only reason that I know what day it is. Between breakfast stream and the vlog, I finally have the concept mentally of a calendar. And if we didn't do it, I would not know. Raisins in my toast. There are folks asking for beans. I press the bean button. Enjoy the beans. Thank you, producers. We have 5 months from Elflower17 who says, "Hello, I'm here for once, live only because I had a dream that woke me and I couldn't get back to sleep. It was about my grandma who passed away almost 2 years ago, so understandably it startled me." Yeah, occasionally I'll have dreams about folks who have passed, and they're rare. You know, they're very rare, so it's always I guess startling is probably the best way to put it. Actually, on I think it was on Discord, we were talking about, last night before I went to bed, we were talking about some other dreams that were startling. We were talking specifically about the dreams, and this is relevant because we were talking about my mom with the brakes. Mm-hmm. You'll have a dream where you're trying to stop a car, and I had those a lot in high school for whatever reason, where I'm trying to hit the brakes on a car, and I wake up because I'm actually like extending my foot to try and like hit the brake. I don't know if anyone else has had that experience, but I had them a lot in high school, and then even now, occasionally, it's a little rare, but I'll wake up because, you know, I'm like stretching my foot so far. It's like sometimes I'll get like a foot cramp, and I'll wake up like and realize, oh, I'm not driving the car. Okay, okay, cool. So I'm not alone. I feel a little bit better. So, J05 says exploding head syndrome. Mal has that.
Yeah.
I get it rarely, but Mal has it fairly consistently. Yeah.
For a long time, it was the sound of a bunch of plates shattering.
Yeah. And that's like the common one, isn't it? That's what most people say they experience?
Loud bangs.
Loud bangs.
Like a loud noise.
Yeah. Every once in a while I'll have something like that, but it's kind of rare. We got 300 bits from Prince who says, so, a bit of a random thought, but it's one I just had. So, have you ever watched Shia LaBeouf Live by Rob Cantor? It's something you should experience, if not, even, if you've not, even if you're only taking 3 minutes to clown around. Yeah.
Coffee!
Yeah, we saw that. I saw it whenever it came out, and it feels like every time we have a big group of friends together, we watch it again.
Yeah.
It's entertaining. It's a weird idea, but sometimes those are some of the most interesting things. Get 100 bits from Miss Mayhem. Thank you. 11 months from Gonzo Tinkerman. 11 months of fun. Thanks to your hard work and dedication to your channel, my 2020, which has been rough even without COVID, has been much better than it would have been. And we have good vibes for everyone having a rough time this year. Yeah. Good. I don't have the good vibes mug this morning, but good vibes. 1962. Good vibes. And the year is rapidly getting close to the end here.
Yeah.
We got like, what, 6 or 7 weeks left of the year?
It's 14 days to Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So it's preposterous how close we're getting to the end of the year. And that's wild. But we're all hopeful for 2021. We got 17 months from Colin McVicker. Thank you, Colin. 310 bits from Pickletron. It was for the Proton lore. I haven't heard that alert in a while.
And then today it's been.
And then today we've had a few of them. I'm like, ah, it's a good song. Danny X6 gifted a sub to iWraith or AI Wraith. Thank you, Danny. 16 months from Destiny Light 2. Mandatory 16. Love everything you've done for all of us during this time. Timing on that was everything you've done. 200 bits from Paper Spyro. Thank you, Spyro. 1500 from Pickletron. It says Stephen Corp is not responsible for any damages done to new-gen consoles from anything heard from this stream. I mean, you heard it from Xbox themselves. Like, you know, don't blow vape smoke into your console. Just don't. But until Sony comes out with a tweet that says, please don't pour Jack Daniels into your PS5.
Still don't.
Until they do that, though, we don't know if we shouldn't do that.
You shouldn't.
We don't know. Although I'm guessing probably not. Probably not. 30 bits from Kazuhime. Eggs are complicated. They should cost $100 each.
Yeah.
Correct. I Now Spellcom gets 5 subs. Hey, Milk Bombs. To Lilac Oligochi. I think I got that right. Secret Fury, Elena123, Daiquiri, and Sensei Peter41. Thank you. Thank you, I Know How to Spell Calm. 100 bits from Cabri. 300 bits from Prince. Speaking of dreams being startling, this morning I laid in bed a little longer after waking up just to finish out of the dream I had, which had been following a tale of twins after my class ran from a fire during a trip. Oh. There's definitely been times I've had a dream, woken up, and it was super mad that I didn't finish the dream. And have laid in bed, like, thinking hard about what happened in the hopes that I would continue that dream. And it basically never works. If there's people that can do that, legit, like pick up where they left off, I'm super impressed. I can't do that. Because I'll just have another, like, different, completely different dream. So, if Sparks can do that, you are very fortunate. Because sometimes the way that my dreams get derailed often is like real world stimuli, usually a sound or something. Mm-hmm. And what happens is it literally derails the dream because your brain is still processing the outside world. So you're having a dream, and then inside the dream, there's like an alarm going off. And then that's adapting to the dream, but then you wake up and you realize it's your actual alarm going off. So that messes things up. The phone ringing messes things up. There's basically never been a time where I could go back to bed and be like, I'll just finish what I was doing. So, we have 300 bits from None Shoes. It says, you know what else came out today? Giant Squid's new game called The Pathless. They're the ones who made Abzu, so I'm curious if you have any plans to play. I did not know it was coming out.
I hadn't heard anything.
There's a lot of games coming out, and things I'm just now finding out about. Like, I just learned that the remake to 13, like, just came out yesterday. And it doesn't look like 13 anymore. It's kind of weird.
I only know if stuff is coming out because you tell me. I do not keep up on news at all.
I mean,
or rumors.
Fair.
Like,
I mean, that's fair. I don't keep up as much as I used to.
Yeah.
Like in high school, I knew everything.
Yeah.
About like every system, every game, every release date, what reviewers saw. Like I knew all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And now that it's my career, I don't. Now I'm like, I don't know. Something's coming out. But it's because I can't play all the games.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I try to stay relatively informed, but also I can't play all the games. I just can't. And especially when I'm locked into, like, right now we're playing Breath of the Wild and Pikmin. Mm-hmm. There's not really any time to play anything else. And even if I knew about other things, I couldn't play them.
Yeah.
So it's kind of where I'm at. That being said, Abzu was great, so I'll probably look into Pathless. And maybe at some point we'll do something like that. Probably take a break from... Once we finally finish Breath of the Wild, we'll probably not play...
Another long game?
For a while.
Yeah.
That's what I suspect. I suspect we'd probably do some pretty short stuff at some point. I know Spellcom says, when's the first 20 stream? Hey, good question. I'll answer it with my mouth so everyone knows. That's happening today. Probably, like... Not terribly long after breakfast stream ends. I need to get a shower and I need to eat lunch. I have a little setup to do, but not too much because I did all of that yesterday.
Yeah.
So, today, just not like... yeah, it's early afternoon. Early afternoon. And not like late afternoon. Yeah. 1,500 bits from Origami Gamer, who says, good morning, grandparents. Wishing for good vibes as this week as I am driving across the U.S. to get back to California, recently got a promotion which allowed me to move back home.
Cool.
Well, that seems like good news. I love driving. I know not everyone feels the same, so I don't know if the idea of driving, like just the act of driving, is the thing that's not great, or if it's the fact that you have to drive during a pandemic. That second part's not ideal. One of my favorite things about driving is the fact that you feel empowered to, like, take little stops whenever you want. It's a little harder to swallow during the current times.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can still do it. You can still do it safely. I hope that you enjoy the drive as much as possible. Getting a chance to drive the U.S. is it's something that a lot of people don't get to experience. But you do have to kind of like it, just like a little bit. It's probably a lot harder if driving is the worst thing. We got 300 bits from Goldmage, who says, characteristic features of parrots include a strong curved bill and upright stance, strong legs, and clawed zygodactyl feet. Zygodactyl is an arrangement of digits with 2 toes facing forward and 2 back. Like this.
Yeah.
They make that sound too, by the way. A lot of people don't know that.
Mm. You and your vast parrot experience told you that.
I've had equal experiences with parrots as I have horses. Well, not like equal, just equal time. Not like I've never ridden a parrot. That seems hard. You'd need a really big parrot, which would be fine. 300 bits from Adrian says, on the note of odd dreams, I had Tom Fox in a recent dream of mine, and for no explainable reason, he opened his mouth incredibly wide, and it was covered inside with the logo for Hot Tamales Candy. I have no idea either. Glad other people are having odd dreams about Tom. Tom shows up in my dreams occasionally too, but it's always like the snowboarding thing. What, have you had a weird dream lately?
Not that I can remember.
Just normal dreams.
Yeah.
No dreams about clowns.
No.
That's a shame. 24 months from Kami. He says, I have two Twitch babies. Thanks for being you, Student Mel. Congrats on your second child, Kami. Take care of them. Or put them in stasis, which is also fine. 300 bits from I Know How to Spell Calm. We all know Kepi is a salaryman, but what does he do? My theory is that he is the shadow producer of Stephen Corp.
He's a CEO.
Yeah. And anytime you ask further information, Kep goes, "Oh, I'm just a CEO." Mm-hmm. It's like, of what company? "Oh, I'm a CEO." But what do you do?
He has meetings, very important meetings.
I attend my meetings and that's it. Mm-hmm. That's what he does. And and you know, I'd like to give him a round of applause. He does a great job.
Yeah.
He does a great job with his meetings and of being CEO. Just a wonderful...
Yesterday he made biscuits.
Yes, as he does every day.
Yeah.
And that's just on the side. That's not even part of his job. That's not in the job description. He just makes them.
Yeah.
And you're doing great. He sleeps on the job a lot.
Yeah.
But he's earned it.
He's CEO.
He's CEO. Just really proud of him. 300 Bits of Paper Spyro says, working overnight for those back-to-back launches was tough, but I'm home now. Glad to make it to the stream today. Oh man, you were out there dealing with the customers. I know that there was a lot of places. At least I felt like I read this. And then last night there were actual midnight launches. I thought that I had read that they were not doing midnight launches for either one or both consoles. Maybe it was just that they were scaling them back. Maybe that was it. Because I had read that, and in my brain I was like, oh, okay, so they're not doing, like, come into the store at midnight physical things. And then last night I was looking on Twitter, and I was like, oh, no, that's still happening. It looks like they were trying to, like, decrease the number, I guess, of stuff that was in the stores. So. Oduo said, Sony said there would be no in-store PS5s. So was it like none at all, or was it just only certain places? I'm not sure exactly how they did it. No in-store PS5s past pre-orders.
Paper Sparrow says it was pickup only.
Oh, okay. So had to pick stuff up. Interesting. Okay, so then what I read was true, but it was just Sony then. I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense. The other thing I was looking at on Twitter was like people at midnight making accounts for Target, for Best Buy, for Newegg, for B&H, for Amazon, getting and refreshing all of them, just trying to get a PS5. And I was talking to Mal, and I was like, remember how we did not get a PS4 at launch? And then it was sometime later, I'd started to get more and more emails from devs, and they were like, do you want
a key for
for PS4? And I was like, we were gonna have to get a PS4. So then one day, this was back when Mal still taught at the school, and I was like, Mal, on your way home, will you just go to Walmart and pick up a PS4? And she's like, yeah.
I think you had checked if they were in stock.
I think by the time we got one, they were available.
Yeah.
And like, that is, you know, it's my preferred way. It's my preferred way. If there's sometimes I've been really excited for console launches, because sometimes, like, you know, when the Switch came out, I didn't get the Switch at launch, but I could understand wanting to get the Switch at launch, you know, because of Breath of the Wild. I'd be like, oh my god, I want to play Breath of the Wild. But it's a headache. Like, you really need to think ahead 6 to 9 months and pre-order it in order to have, like, no problems. It's going to be much harder to get one. $35? What? Renee says Dieter got his PS5 for $35. That's pretty good. I don't know the full story of that, but that's pretty good. We paid more than that. By a little bit. I think $35. It was the MSRP at Walmart at the time was higher than $35. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Anyway, 300 bits from Icy Patterns, who says, I've had dreams where one of my brothers does something upsetting and then been irrationally angry the rest of the day. So Mallory's dreams.
There was a time where I had like a couple dreams in a row where you were in them and you were a jerk. Dream Steven was a jerk. For like a week. I wasn't mad at you. But you were like really upset about Dream Steven.
I was upset about Dream Steven. I'm like, well, why are you having... I feel like I go out of my way in real life to try and be nice.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever it's like, Dream Steven was really rude to me, I was like, why? Didn't do anything with Dream Steven. Dream Steven's a bad man. Oh, Renee says, he travels a lot for work and earned credit card points. The program was going away, so they told him to spend his points. He had enough to get a PS4. All he had to do was pay $35 for the shipping. Nice. That's super nice. We have like the credit card reward thing, and I'm sure not every credit card reward thing is like this, but at least on ours, all of the like the object stuff, like the stuff that you can order, when you do the math on it, is like super marked up. And it doesn't make any sense to order any stuff with our particular reward program.
Yeah.
And it's stupid, but it's just the way it is. So we do the thing where you just get cash. So it just like puts a thing into your whatever they call that.
Checking.
Yeah, you just get money that goes into your checking account.
Yeah.
But it's like every point is like a penny. So if you have 2,000 points, you have like $20 or whatever. But the problem is if you look and you wanted to get like, I don't know, a phone or a PS4 or whatever, the conversion doesn't work out to a penny anymore. It's like every point is worth like half a penny. And it's like, well, and it's like that for everything. And I'm like, well, then I guess I'll get the cash. That's
yeah.
Then why would I get the other thing? Anyway, we must have a fairly bad rewards program. You would think it'd be the other way around.
Well,
what they should do.
There's other places that have better versions.
Well, yeah, I know. It's not.
Like we have friends who have the Southwest rewards credit card.
That one's apparently super good.
They talk highly of it.
Super
but
good.
We don't live where Southwest is. It's in Charleston. And it's easier to fly out of Myrtle Beach or Wilmington.
It's true. Anyway, 30 bits from Tipsy Taj, who says, sometimes when I wake up in the middle of a dream, I try to write down everything that happened up until I woke up and finish the story from there. Just in general, if folks want to do a better job remembering their dreams, like if you're someone that wakes up and like everything feels faint, you can fix that. Like that's something that you can get better at, and it's from keeping a dream journal. Like if you write things down, if you write things down, it'll take a little bit, but you have to be consistent. You have to do it every time. You have to keep a pad of paper and a pen next to your bed. If you keep writing it down, you will start to remember your dreams. It's cool, because then you'll actually remember everything in like really vivid detail. And then also it's cool because you have like a log of like what your dreams have been. I recommend it. You know, I would love to do it all the time. I've done it for a few different periods in my life. The biggest issue is that
you wake me up.
I wake you up.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mr. Deskkill says, do you also write down nightmares? Yep. If you have, you know, no matter what it is, I would write it down. And then also, I guess to some extent, you could probably track your dreams and like your diet and see if there's some sort of like correlation.
Or about things that have been going on, and you can link them to like things that have been happening in your life.
Yeah, it's actually really cool whenever you have a dream and like you immediately put it all together. You're like, I know exactly why I had this dream.
Mm-hmm.
Like every little individual point in the dream, you're like, I was just thinking about this before bed. I had just talked to this person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's neat. I like that. We got 300 bits from a Lost Vagabond V2. Hi, grandparents. I finally bit the bullet and bought the XT4 a few minutes ago. I was waiting for Black Friday for B&H I was waiting for Black Friday, but B&H was selling it with a grip for $200 off, and I actually have a chance to hang out with my cousins this weekend for the first time since March, so I'm excited to start taking photos with them. Nice! You bought the best APS-C camera on the market. I'm just going to tell you that. There's not... As of right now, there's just not a better camera. And the fact that Fuji has continually put out updates is incredible. And anyone that has an XT3 or is thinking about getting an XT3, they've updated the XT3 now to be... It's not like as capable as the XT4, but it's... Man, they've done so much with software. It's incredible. So, yeah, I hope you enjoy that. I sincerely hope you enjoy that. If I could get any camera... Right, well, if I could get any camera right this second, I guess I would go for the A7S III. But if I was staying within the APS-C line, the XT4 is like the... It's the best one. Wiriest Mule says, how much is the XT3? I don't know, but I'm curious. XT3 is a really great camera. That's what Jeff has. And again, it's been updated to the point. They just came out with it, like they've continued, it came out years ago, but they've continued to do software updates. The autofocus now has been updated on the XT3 to the point where it's almost as good, practically as good as the Sony autofocus.
All right, camera talk.
I'm only allowed to say a few things about cameras. I just want to find out how much this camera is now, because I know it's body only. The XT3 body only is $1,000. So it's a really good price. If you need a flippy screen, you obviously can't do the XT3. You need to go to the XT4. But if you're looking for a good, a really good APS-C camera, XT3 is not a bad choice.
Good morning, Thomas.
Hi, Thomas. I'm just finishing up camera talk. I'm not allowed to say too much, otherwise everyone tells me to move on. We get 308 bits from Pickletron with the Maasai bird. 500 from iKnowIs.com says, thinking about my optometrist who was treating my eye infection and said, if it hurts, you can rinse your eye with boiled water. Look at me. Look at me. I want you to understand that I mean water that has been boiled and has since cooled down. There's a second part to this. Like, I'm so grateful for this man ensuring that I wouldn't destroy my eyes by pouring boiling water in it, because it is an adequate assessment of my intelligence. Don't pour boiling water into your eyes. Until it's cooled down, then you can do that.
Boiled past tense.
Boiled. Yeah, that's what the word should have been. Boiled. Boiled water. Long since boiled water. With
no more heat applied.
No more. Room temp boiled water. 1962 bits from Pickletron says, Mal, what was for dinner last night, and how was it, and how was cooking it?
It was leftovers from Tuesday, and cooking it on Tuesday was a pain because I had butternut squash and roasted it, and it took forever.
It was like 2 hours. It took like 2 hours to make that squash.
Yeah.
Also, I ate so much squash last night, I was in physical pain.
You could have stopped at any point.
You could have.
I was not holding you to gunpoint to finish the squash.
I don't know why you put that much squash on my plate. It was an abnormal amount of squash for any human being.
You could have stopped.
I ate my dinner, and then I laid on the couch
and just complained.
Yeah, I just moaned for about 45 minutes. And then I was good.
Sapphire Becca says, it's the enchiladas again. I need to make those.
They were good.
Next time we go to the store, I need to get the stuff. They were really good.
Tachi says, if it's on my plate, I must eat it. Can't waste food.
He didn't even have to waste it, though. It could have gone back in the fridge.
It should have just went into the fridge. Because when it... So, I had been taking care of some stuff. Mal preheated the food. And then...
Took what I wanted for a serving.
See, that's how it works. I didn't even
And then
pay
you got the
attention.
rest.
I didn't even pay attention to what was on my plate. I just started eating the squash. And at some point, my brain was like... This is a lot of squash. Like, I looked down and I was like, man, this is a lot of squash. By the time I was I'm talking like this much squash.
It was not that much. That's the size of half the squash.
She's lying.
You didn't have half last night.
It was this much squash. Like, this tall. It was... Anyway. Halfway through the squash, my brain was like, you're like getting full.
And that was halfway through, and he still continued.
After I finished the squash, I then ate the sandwiches, because there were sandwiches too. And I was full before I even started on the sandwiches. And I remember thinking that, like, I was gonna hurt. But then I ate all of the food. I cleaned my plate.
I can't help you.
I'm sorry. If it's in front of me, I will eat it. And it's weird, too. I don't, like... Thomas says, I don't want to help you. My good friend, Thomas Jonte, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want to help you. I just eat what's in front of me. That's just how it is. And if, like, half the amount of food was on the plate, I would have eaten that, and then I would have been like, I'm full. Like, I don't possess the necessary skill set to stop. I just eat the food. I don't do second plates. That's just like, that's not what I do. What was I doing?
Reading alerts.
1,050 bits from Zach Joman says, 4 Norse gods, 1 Roman god, and 2 astrological bodies walk into a bar. The bartender, oh, this is going to be a weak joke. It's the days of the week. I get it. I haven't heard that one before. 25 months from Kiwi Scipio says, woo, 25 months. I think I missed my 2 years. Oh well. Breath of the Wild tea. It says BTW, by the way, which I just inserted Breath of the Wild tea for the win. Breath of the Wild tea. 300 bits from Will A. Peters who said, shame, Dream Steven, shame. Oh, and then another one says, my dreams are strangely normal. My dreams... When I have them, my dreams are fairly calm. Fairly calm. I almost never have nightmares, which is nice.
I feel like I grew out of that. Like, as a kid, like, I would have nightmares and they were terrifying.
Yeah,
but I feel like I don't have them anymore. I just have, like, dreams that make me slightly uncomfortable and there's some anxiety. But not the horror that I had as a kid.
Yeah. Well, also, the other thing, and folks may be able to relate to this, is when you're a kid, the idea of a nightmare is like, there's a horror element. It's like a horror film.
Yeah.
Like things that are genuinely frightening to you.
Mm-hmm.
As an adult, the things that are frightening to you are not monsters in your closet. They're like anxiety about like bills. So as an adult, when you have a nightmare, it's like you forgot to pay a bill, and like now they've marked it on you have a lower credit score, and they've shut off your power. Like those are the things that are like, oh my God. And then you wake up and you're like, did I pay the bill? Did I pay the bill? Did I pay the water? Did I pay the water? I don't know if I paid the water. Like that's the things, they've changed. So you're still having nightmares, I guess, to some extent. Although I agree that I've had less nightmares.
Yeah.
When you think about it, aren't those the same thing? Well, like if monsters were real, it would definitely change the feeling of the nightmares. If I woke up and I was like, whew, it was only a, you know, it was only a dream that the Loch Ness Monster ate my leg. But I was still worried about going on the lake because I'm like, well, the Loch Ness Monster is real and will eat my leg. Like, that would be, you know, that would be different.
Hi, you. Back to the helper chair.
Back to the chair. Thomas says, I get the anxiety didn't pay bill nightmares with a monster that eats your family and cat. So Thomas didn't grow out of it. Thomas just added to it. Well. Spark says, as a kid, you don't know if monsters are real or not. And Icy Patterns add, being a child is frightening. These are fair things. These are fair things. When I was a kid, I was scared of monsters. And then, you know, I stopped, I guess. I don't know when. I'm not really sure when that...
There was one time I rolled out of my bed and then rolled under my bed in my sleep. And my parents, when they went to wake me up for school, it was like kindergarten, like before the divorce.
How far?
My dad couldn't find me.
How?
It's that 4-poster bed the full-size bed that I had growing up.
How do you roll? Because if you fall out of bed, you're gonna wake up.
I don't know. I just was told this story.
I guess if you were if you were in your blankets, and you rolled out of the bed, but the blankets were still holding you, it would be possible for the blankets on the other side of the bed to be tucked so tightly that they don't come out, and they kind of like lower you onto the floor.
I don't know. I was like 4. It was carpet.
So you just woke up under the bed.
Yeah.
That probably,
I don't remember this. I was just told it.
Sure. That was probably very horrifying for your parents.
Yeah.
To go into your room and like you're not in there. Anyway. Just trying to remember, like, if there was a specific time in my life whenever, like, when do monsters cease to be real? Is it a gradual thing, or is it like a moment?
I don't know.
Like, is there a specific moment where your brain clicks and you go, oh, these aren't real, I'm good? I don't know. I don't know if it's a gradual thing where the fear of it just goes away, or if it's like just stops. I don't know. It's probably when things get replaced with other things. Teenage years is actually not a bad guess. Spivla says, I'm about to be 30 and I'm still scared of monsters even though I know they aren't real. So, somewhat related, and I'll get to these other alerts shortly. Up until my, like, early 20s, even in my early 20s, I had a thing where, like, if I was going to turn off the lights and, like, there was, like, the last light in the room, I was going to turn off the light and then leave the room. That was still, like, a little unsettling. Like, up into my early 20s, I still felt like that. Like, I would turn off the light, and there'd be, like, a little, like, like, a little, like, extra, like, jog.
You never had a basement growing up.
I did not.
When the light would be at the bottom of the stairs, and you had to flip it and get to the top of the stairs.
That's a good way to get over that quick.
As a kid, you didn't. or to develop a lifelong fear, maybe. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, I don't have that anymore. Yeah.
Thomas says, oh, I just wander around in the dark at my... Sparks says, just ask Alexa to turn them off. Sparks! This was the 90s. Or I guess when I was in my early 20s, that would have been the early 2010s, late 2000s.
Late 2000s.
Yeah. Thomas says, am I scared? Yes. Do I like it? No. Yeah, I don't know.
There's some places that I think as a kid I was okay with it being dark, but there were other places I was not okay with it being dark.
So it changed depending on the environment?
Oh, yes. Because I mentioned my aunt that had the old schoolhouse. She lived in an old schoolhouse, and I had stayed there a few times. That place at night was terrifying.
Was it the unfamiliarity of it? Like just
it was
the fact
just old and creaky. Like, there was a place where there used to be a bubbler, and I actually stayed there in, like, 2008 or something.
Yeah.
I was in my 20s, like, early 20s, and I was still freaked out to stay there. And, like, there was the water fountain, thanks Chaz Bubbler, and it was right outside, it used to be right outside where the guest room was. And so it was especially creaky right there. And she had, like, 3 cats, and, like, they'd walk across it at night, and it would squeak really bad. And it was scary.
Yeah.
Oh, I stayed there when my grandfather died, too. Yeah, I did not like it then either.
That wasn't that long ago.
No, I was teaching here.
So, like, 5 years ago.
Yeah. I just remember being...
But you weren't afraid.
I was unsettled all night, and it was hard to sleep.
I don't know. I don't really get unsettled. I don't think. Now. I think I'm trying to think of something that would be unsettling to me. Someone following me would be unsettling.
Yeah.
I would be unsettled by that. More so if they were like, I don't know, dressed as like a clown.
I mean, it didn't help that the schoolhouse, like, the basement was still very much a schoolhouse.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there was the old, like, stage and the boiler room and bathrooms, like... And it was built in, like, the 1890s, and it was... Not many things are that old in our country that you would normally come across.
There's also something to be said about, like, old things being frightening.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to some extent, I at least understand that a little bit.
Yeah.
And there's places I wouldn't want to particularly, like, you know, spend the night.
Yeah.
There's things that, like, I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of, like, someone that could be unsettled by a place, like the mental asylum that they had in Colombia that was, like, old and run down or whatever.
Oh yeah.
That's probably not a place I would like to spend the night. That's probably not a place that would be high on my list of things to, like...
They're slowly redoing
Could
that
I
area.
do it?
It's really cool
I think
now.
I could do it, but, like, it you know, it's not something I'd volunteer for.
Yeah.
Anyway, what was the place called?
It was the South Carolina State Asylum. Actually, one of the main building just burned down, like, this summer.
Yeah.
And they've been tearing buildings down on because it was like a whole city. There was a mattress factory back when they were, like, in operation. Like, it was its own city, and it was, like, all fenced in, and there's a lot of abandoned buildings there. When we lived there, like, it was all abandoned, really creepy. But they've been redoing it and making it into an arts district. And they were going to redo the main building, but it burned down over the summer.
Would it be unsettling if Thomas broke into your home? It was. Like, the few seconds where I knew someone was at the door, entering the door, but did not know who it was, felt like an eternity. And then, like, one unit of eternity. I was like, it's okay, Thomas. Mao was in on the joke, and that makes it okay. 300 bits from my now. Spokama says, Vox did a cool series called Darkroom, which explains important moments in history through photographs, like how photos of suffragettes helped the movement.
We've seen some of them.
Yep. Yep. Vox puts out some really interesting series. That Darkroom's one of them. Darkroom's really a really, really good one. Also, from my now. Spokama, that's why it targets children. Imagine him appearing as unpaid bills to adults. The bills all float down here. 590 bits from Mr. Gameboy says, okay, so pick one monster to make real. That monster is now real and coming for you and cannot be defeated. Which do you pick? You can always run and hide, but they always eventually find you. I guess I would pick the slowest monster. I don't know what the monster would be, but like the slowest slug monster.
I've seen a write-up about a slug with this scenario.
Really? Mm-hmm. But then it would leave a trail. I don't want that, actually. I would be willing to have that be a slightly faster monster if there was no trail. Thomas's Cookie Monster, easy to deal with. Can you imagine if Cookie Monster showed up at your house, but was homicidal? The way you dealt with it was just being like, I got a pack of Oreos, and he's like, okay, I'll be back next week. Jazz says, the heavily weighed down by chains slug with a mop on its back.
Thomas says, good monster, Chess.
I mean, yeah, if we get to decide our own monster, the increasingly tiny monster just continues to shrink. The honey monster does seem slow.
Don't worry, Gritty is real.
Yeah, there's one monster that is real, and he lives in Philadelphia.
I love Gritty.
3 months from Mikey DCT. Would 20s Steven go and shop at Bloodbath and Beyond? Yeah. I could do that. Let's take a little out of the arm. Because I need this dish towel. Which I'll then use on my arm.
We have a lot of dish towels.
We do have a lot of dish towels. 300 bits from Will A. Peters. It just says, clown? That's what I don't want to be fought. I don't have a fear of clowns. I know some people, like, it's a legit phobia of clowns. I don't have that. But clowns are unsettling. It depends on the context, really. But if a clown's following you, that's I don't like that. Also, the context in which you experience a clown has everything to do with the setting, the lighting, the music. There's a lot. There's a lot. Notice this, clowns need to not exist. Well, too late for that. Can't fix that now. Sorry. Let's go ahead and use this opportunity to let folks know that the first 20 stream is happening
Today. Thomas says, my dad was a clown, so they can't get me because all clowns are my dad. Who's the horror movie character with the glove and the...
Krueger.
Yeah, my dad dressed up as him once for Halloween when I was little, and it terrified me.
Oh. He probably thought it was funny.
Yeah. Our neighbors had a box maze in their basement for Halloween. They made up a maze out of boxes in their basement, and my dad hid at one dead end in that outfit. And I remember knowing it was him and still being terrified of him.
Sorry, a box maze is something,
They, like, saved a bunch of boxes. And you, like, crawled through it.
I want to do a box maze. Oh, you crawled through it?
Oh, yeah, I was in, like, kindergarten. It was tiny.
Oh, I thought it was like a you walk... Oh.
No, they, like, made a tunnel.
Anyway, 500 Bits of Murmur says, all this monster talk is making me think about cryptids. Does anyone in chat have a favorite? Mine is Mothman. I've seen the Mothman Prophecies. It's a film. For folks that don't know about Mothman, it's a cryptid. I believe it's West Virginia.
Yeah, it is.
And it's a man who looked like a mothman. And I don't know. Eats
And
people.
I don't know.
Kills people some. I don't know. That's what all the cryptids do, right? Harm humans in some way? Something like that. I don't remember the details. I watched that film, but it's been a fairly long time at this point. I don't think I have a favorite cryptid. I have a shirt with the cryptids on it, but that's they're not things I think about too often. I don't fear them, I guess.
Was it the Beast of Bray Road? Was that the one? Oh, come on, phone.
Renee says, nice shirt. Thanks. I know nothing
It
about
is the
them.
Beast of Bray Road. That's from... I used to live right there.
In Elkhorn, Wisconsin.
I remember living in Elkhorn as a kid, and my mom she used to go out for runs every morning. She used to run.
Yeah.
Like, she was a runner. And I remember her getting
Pepper spray.
And I remember, like, why do you need that? And she's like, oh, there's just a dog that's been around. Because there were reports in the 90s of it.
See, like, I don't personally believe in, like, the existence of any of the cryptids.
Yeah.
But how wild would that be if one day they were like, well, we caught the thing, and it's like an actual, like, wolf man. That would be neat. That'd be really neat.
Anyway, I remember learning about the cryptid in, like, college, because I was, like, doing a Wikipedia dive. You know how you do.
Yeah, it's a hole.
And then I was like, oh, man. I lived there for some point in my life. And I remember my mom being scared of a dog when she used to go out running.
Thomas says, if you don't believe in them, then who will believe in me? Are you a cryptid? I was unaware. I did not know. I did not know that. I think I've told the story that I've seen Slenderman before. I've seen Slenderman. Driving to Wilmington on when it was really early, and I don't think I had had quite enough sleep. And then looking out and being like, that's Slenderman. And then being like, I need to get to the airport. He was big. He was real big. You're like, I don't know, 12 feet tall? Strike says, oh, he wasn't the one driving. That's a better story. I should just change my story to that. Be like, I saw Slenderman and he was driving a bus. He was sitting in the back of the bus, but his arms were stretched to the front of the bus. You do not act that casual about Slenderman. I mean, yeah, I do. It was foggy. It was super foggy that morning.
You hadn't had a ton of sleep.
I hadn't had a ton of sleep, but we were driving to Wilmington, which is about an hour. And I remember I was driving, and I looked out to the side, and like there's a thing of trees like up against the road, and standing like in front of the road, not like on the road, but like in front of the trees, like so the trees were the background to him. It was like this 12-foot tall guy, and I was like, I'm seeing Slenderman, so I need to get to the airport. I saw him driving to Wilmington. I did. I saw him. He might still be there. Still waiting on the side of the road. I don't know.
In the same spot.
Maybe.
Look at that cat.
He's a good boy. At this point in my life, usually if I haven't had enough sleep and I'm hallucinating to some degree, I hear chiptunes. I know I've talked about that before. It's bizarre. I hate it. Fortunately, I haven't been that sleep deprived in a long time. But when I get really, really, really sleep deprived, I can hear like chiptune music. Anyway, first 20 stream.
Today.
First 20 stream today. Within just the next few hours. Like I said, I'm going to get a shower, I'm going to have some lunch, then I'll get set up and we'll do it. We're doing a lot of games today. There was more than I thought. I know on Twitter last night I was like, there's a lot that you can vote on, and now I'm like, actually, there are 5 games that we have to do. Like, not voting, there's 5 games that we have to do. That is more than I thought.
Yeah.
So there's 5 that's happening. If we have time, I have an equally long list of, like,
other things?
Other games. Yeah. Jam sent in a lot of games, but there's a subset of games that I looked at and I'm like, these are so good. I really want to try these games out. And those aren't even a part of the 5. So, we've got 5 that we have to do. I'm hoping that we'll have time to do a 6th game, and then folks will vote amongst a few games for that 6th game. But we need to get started, earlier. Spark says, can we vote which one you play first? Well, 3 of them are on the Switch, and 2 of them are on PC. So, almost certainly I'm going to just do the Switch ones first, so then I can just move to the PC, because everything will be on PC after that. So the first one, almost guaranteed the first one will be Part-Time UFO. And yes, Armored Frog says, surely you're doing Hades. Yes, I'm doing Hades. Wait a minute.
What?
Maybe it's 2 on the Switch, 3 on it, or maybe it's 6 games. I don't know. Let's just assume there's just a lot. There's a lot of games. But not a lot of, like, RPGs. So I don't expect it to go forever. But there's a lot of games. You've cat tax.
Look at his little nose.
It's precious.
It's too bright for Cappy.
You get that posted up for cat tax, and I'll make sure everyone else knows any other things we need to say. Breath of the Wild stream tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern. So we'll be back for, for that. And then otherwise, trying to think what else. No, I got that cat tax. Hey, it's
too
Cappy.
bright for Cappy.
It's Cappy. Vlogs. I got a vlog posted late last night. So if you haven't seen, there's some vlogs out.
You go back, chat.
I'm trying to think if there's going to be... As for vlogs for today, we'll see. Most of my day is going to be spent working on the stream, and I don't have any additional vlogs, like, ready to post. So it could happen, but it would be late tonight. But yeah, Breath of the Wild tomorrow. Saturday, I don't have this yet, but Dan's working on it, so we're just going to, in good faith, assume it'll be ready. Saturday, a new episode of Animal Crossing, showing off Thomas's Island, so that's exciting. But of course, the biggest news is later today, in just a few hours...
First 20.
Featuring lots of video games. You can expect to see Part-Time UFO, Hades, a bicycle game that I can't remember the name of that I requested a long time ago. Another game where you are a bird. The new Assassin's Creed game. Yeah, so there's several things. So get ready. We're going to play game. It's gonna be fun. Yeah, Valhalla. That's the name of game. Soon. All right, gonna go ahead and end it there. Thank you all so much for being here this morning. Whether or not you choose to join me in just a little bit, I hope that you have a wonderful Thursday. Don't forget, tomorrow, back into the wild, where... Ooh, things will be happening tomorrow, too. Things will be happening, because we got everything all set up.
Yes.
And, like, we're just going to walk into that town.
Uh-huh.
It's going to be good.